News Channel 5 on your side presents Kaleidoscope, focusing on people who make a difference in Northeast Ohio communities.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to have you on the broadcast today. Dr. Carlos Campo is the new president of Ashland University, and he joins me this afternoon to talk about his new role at Ashland and his vision for the university. Later on, we'll hear from the superintendent of Richmond Heights Local Schools, Dr. Renee Willis, and executive director of the United Black Fund, Cecil Lipscomb. They're here on the program as well. Also, the Church Street Ministries. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Executive director Reverend Charles Brown and board president Ed Puwal will be here to tell us about those programs and services of that organization. Good afternoon again, everybody. I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope. Always good to have you with us. And with us today is Dr. Carlos Campo, president of Ashland University. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, just fine, just fine. You're kind of like the new kid on the block down there at university, at Ashland University.
It's true. We've been around since 1878, but just 9 months for me.
Just 9 months for you. The 30th president.
Right.
Yeah.
Great traditions, though, at Ashland. Just talking to some of the folks who are going to be on the show today, they've got friends or others who have graduated and know the school are working with us, so it's terrific.
Right there in the heart of Ashland County, too. About an hour's drive from downtown Cleveland.
That's right. An easy drive.
Yeah, easy drive. What do you have to keep in mind as president of a university of how many students you have?
About 6,000.
Yeah. What do you have to keep in mind as president?
Boy, you name it. One of the things we talk about is that you're dealing with more today than you were even 10 years ago, just in terms of student issues. But to us, we really try to keep it simple, Leon. We focus really on students learning and really drilling down and knowing who that student is. It's what private education really tries to do, right? Keep classes small, really drill into the student. What's your dream? What do you really hope to do? And how do we stand beside you and help you realize that?
Ashland's a private university. Let's talk a little bit about, are we doing the job at the collegiate level, in the public and the private colleges, generally speaking, in the United States and in Ohio?
Well, the truth is, the short answer is no. I mean, frankly, our graduation rates aren't where they should be. You know, when the national averages are still in the 50th percentile, we realize that we have a ways to go. And I think for minority students, particularly minority males, we have a lot of work to do. But we want to celebrate our successes as well. You know, high school dropout rates are at their lowest in a long time. Latino dropout rates have been cut in half in less than 10 years. That's a lot to celebrate. So we have some ways to go, but we have greater access than ever before, and we're excited about that as well.
You mentioned those minority students. How do you get your numbers up? I mean, you're recruiting.
We are recruiting.
What do you do to recruit?
You know, I think recruiting is really about what we talked about earlier, drilling down and letting folks know we are a welcoming campus. We're a place that doesn't see you as an ethnicity or a number, but instead sees all of who you are as a person. And part of it is really being in the community and investing in the community. If you just show up for a recruitment event, that doesn't mean much. But if you invest in the community and really get to know who the students are and what their milieu is, that really is a game changer.
I've known many college presidents over the years, certainly here in the state of Ohio, and they all tell me sometimes they feel like they're jugglers, that they're juggling balls all the time. You got to keep the university going or the college going. You got to do that. You got to deal with the faculty. You got to deal with the students, and at the same time, you got to raise money.
Right.
How do you do all those things?
Well, you know, I just heard a couple of balls hit the floor when you were mentioning that. So,
right.
And it is true. There is a lot going on, but if you stay focused on the main thing, I guess that's really for us the message. If you forget who your client is, you know, we have a saying around Ashland, and that is, what's in it for the student? So that's our first question. If we can answer that question well every time, we're doing fine. Yeah,
we're going to continue our conversation with you, but I want to put a phone number on the screen. People can get more information on everything we're talking about down at Ashland University. 855-971-3241. You can get more information. There's the number on the screen. Or you can go to ashland.edu. Ashland.edu. Get more information on everything we're talking about. Are the high schools doing their job, getting those young people into the college pipeline?
Well, and again, I believe that high school folks are doing a phenomenal job. They've got an incredibly tough job. We were just talking about Common Core and all of the challenges that folks are facing. But of course, a lot of those high schools are under-resourced, and teachers have to do more today than they've ever had to do before. So there are challenges as well. High schools need more support. The schools that need the most support get the least, and so those students are the most disadvantaged. So that bottom quintile of students continues to struggle to break out of that lowest class. So I think those are some of the areas that have to improve right away.
Yeah. If we could make you king for the day.
Oh, boy.
And all you had to do is say, this is how it will be. What would you do to strengthen our education program at your college and at colleges in general?
Well, frankly, I think we do need to raise the standards for the way we train and who we train to be educators. There was a time when we had such deep respect for educators in our nation, and I think that's really fallen off, Leon. So that's one of the things that has to change. Frankly, I think that 20 to 30% of the schools of education in this country shouldn't be open today, that we have to take a greater scrutiny about who's coming out of those schools and how we're training them for the classroom. We are far too tolerant about who stands in front of our students. No parent will ever tell you it's okay for an average student or an average teacher to be in front of my student. But we all say generally, well, they all can't be great. We have to raise our standards in terms of how we train teachers and who they are standing in front of our kids.
So your professors and your instructors and your teachers and your associate professors, full professors, all of them, they have got to be steeped in their areas of concern.
No question. We have to have qualified, excellent scholars who are standing in front of those students, who are like me leaders, who say to those students, I can pave the way. They're more than just folks who are spewing information. They're shaping character as well.
Dr. Campo, you hold a PhD. That means you've spent a lot of years in school. You think back on your own education of those people who inspired you to go into this area that you work in.
Right.
You call upon those people to and push those ideas into the future at Ashland University?
That's right. That's what we try to do. I think it's that whole idea of inspiration. If you can spark a student to be a lifelong learner, that's not a small thing. We all can recall a single teacher that helped transform our lives. That's what we try to do at Ashland.
Is there anything I need to know that I've not asked you that you think you are just wild about at Ashland University?
Well, you know, I'm not going to miss the chance to say something about our basketball teams, both in the top 25, both competing in the playoffs now. We finished as the top private Division II athletics program in the nation, so we're touting that along with our great academics.
Ashland University is on a roll.
We are.
In more ways than one. And that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Dr. Carlos Campo,
Thank you.
President of Ashland University down in Ashland County, Ohio. Good to have you on the broadcast.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
And welcome to this part of the state.
Thank you.
To this part of the country, I should say. 9 months on the job, obviously doing a wonderful job. I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. We'll talk about a partnership between United Black Fund and Richmond Heights School System. Back after these words. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope. Joining me now, the superintendent of Richmond Heights Local Schools, Dr. Renee Willis on the left, and the executive director of the United Black Fund, Cecil Lipscomb, on the right. They're here to discuss the United Black Fund's mentoring initiative in the Richmond Heights school system. And Dr. Willis will also share information about the new strategic plan. Good to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
Things are going well in Richmond Heights, I'll bet.
Well.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, well, good to have you both here. Give me an overview of the Richmond Heights Local School District where you are its superintendent.
Superintendent of the Richmond Heights Local Schools, a very small school district, about 800 students, located in the first ring suburb of Cleveland. We are a district that's intimate. We have great initiatives now with our partners with UBF. We have a new 5-year strategic plan, New Day 2020. So it's a brand new day in Richmond Heights, and I'm so happy that I'm here to be able to share with the world our great things.
What's the major point of that strategic plan?
Strategic plan, of course, student achievement, academic achievement. That is priority number one. Second, we have communication, we have finance, we have culture and climate. Richmond Heights, as a new day, we've had to reinvent ourselves. And so with strategic partnerships, public and private partnerships, we're doing that and we're getting the word out.
One of those partnerships is with the United Black Fund, located here in Cleveland. You're the Cecil Lipscomb, you're the executive director. Tell me about this partnership. What's going on with this?
So it started from the Community Connectors Grant, which came out of the Ohio Department of Education, Governor Kasich's grant. And as a grant administrator, we looked for partner school districts and identified Dr. Renee Willis and Richmond Heights Schools as the ideal place that we could kind of put together a mentoring program, but we didn't want to stop there. We actually identified coding as a disparity in education.
Now, tell me about coding. You got something here, and this is your coding thing right here. I get a shot of this because it's kind of interesting. What is a coding?
So with coding, what we know as educators, or what I know, is that our students that we're educating today, we're doing that for jobs that they don't even know exist. And while we're teaching the traditional languages, we're teaching the traditional reading, writing, and arithmetics, there's a whole world out there doing computer coding. And our students just took to that as if it was a new language, which just know that some states have adopted coding as a new language, along with foreign languages. So they meet twice a week. We are teaching them coding through the curriculum of code.org, but it's done with the partnership of United Black Fund and the mentors that they have coming to us. So our students have experiences at the Great Lakes Science Center. We were just at Tech Central at the Cleveland Public Library, and 3D printing. I can't even begin to talk about all of the great things that our students are being exposed to.
Cecil, why did you decide to get involved in this? What did you see that needed to be done?
So if you look at the state of Ohio, 1,700 computer science graduates, 20,000 open jobs in coding. Nationwide, over 100,000 jobs available. When you talk about minority statistics, even more of a disparity. So when we looked around, one of our pillars at United Black Fund is education. We deal with workforce development, basic needs, but education is our primary component.
Yeah.
And as opposed to simply trying traditional methods, which we still do, we said let's partner with organizations, Great Lakes Science Centers, Cleveland State, a variety of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, 8 or 9 different organizations to pull them together under the one cause that let's take this disparity, this gap between 1,700 graduates, 20,000 jobs, and see if we can create a pipeline and then spread this out from Richmond Heights through a variety of schools.
You're connecting the dots. You're connecting the dots, and I'm intrigued by this because you brought in this sheet of paper. I just love these pictures. You know, the public knows how I love education, because without education, I certainly would not be sitting here. That's definite. But you got the graduates right here.
Yes.
This is what it's all about.
What it's all
We're trying to get them in the cap and gown.
That's right.
Once we get them in the cap and gown,
then we're trying to get them into the colleges or careers.
We get them down to Ashland University.
University.
Dr. Carlos Campo would just tell us we're trying to get them there or someplace else.
That's right. And our students, great diversity, but the rigor. Part of what we're doing is making sure that our K-12 education is undergirded with relevant rigor, relevant with coding, rigorous opportunities, and we'll speak about our opportunity with our spring break trip, but our students need to be prepared for college or career readiness, and career, not just job.
You want to take this beyond Richmond Heights now. This is your first district.
It is our first district, but we're already in conversations with additional districts. This is not something new, though. Code.org has done this internationally with the Hour of Code. What we'd like to do is embed this. We're teaching coding 3 to 4 days a week between the mentoring component and in the classroom with the teacher. So we want this to be something that's not an after-school program, not a before-school program, not a summer camp. Those are great, and they complement the traditional educational day. However, we feel that it's imperative that students get access and exposure to this level of education, which the teachers, by the way, and the administrators at Richmond Heights have just grasped and wrapped their arms around this in great numbers.
In our final 30 seconds, tell me a little bit about this 21st Century Technology Hub.
The Technology Hub. So in order to have the coding program be executed, we converted our traditional library into a technology hub. We have state-of-the-art technology. We have theater in the round seating, if you will. We have Chromebooks, tablets, MacBooks, PDAs for the students.
Computers at every station.
At every station,
right here.
Yes. So our students are really being immersed in technology, and that also is going to be magnified when our students take a trip this spring break down to the Hudson Alpha Biotech Institute in Huntsville.
Yeah.
We're going to go visit the U.S. Space and Rocket Center and Redstone Arsenal. We'll do college visits, and so we're also looking for people to support our students as they just explore the world around them.
So it's a good marriage. That's working right here with United Black Fund and Richmond Heights Schools, and between your organization and your organization, and that is the kids, the students who are going to benefit. When they benefit, the rest of society benefits.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about, huh? Well, I appreciate you being on the broadcast. People can get more information by telephoning 566-9263. That's in the 216 area code, or 692-8485 in the 216 area code. That first number was for the United Black Fund. Or you can go to unitedblackfund.org, or you can go to richmondheightsschools.org. More information on everything we're talking about.
Thank you.
Good to have you both on the broadcast.
Thank you for having us.
Dr. Renee Willis, Superintendent of Richmond Heights Schools, Cecil Lipscomb, Executive Director of the United Black Fund. Okay, I'll take a break. I'll be right back in just a moment. Okay. You are in touch with Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb. I'm always glad to have you with me on this broadcast. Let's talk about Church Street Ministries Incorporated. You know, it provides a variety of services to people in crisis. Its executive director, Reverend Charles Brown, is with us on the left, and the board president of Church Street Ministries, Ed Poole, is here as well to tell us more about the organization. Good to have you here,
Good
gentlemen.
to be here.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Reverend Charles Brown, executive director, tell me, what is Church Street Ministries?
Church Street Ministries is 501c3. We were originally associated with the Berea Congregational Church, United Church of Christ, and we have expanded in the last 28 years quite a bit. We have a thrift store, we have a furniture store, and we also have a food pantry. And with the food pantry, we're doing a veterans program.
Yeah.
So we service folks all within Cuyahoga County and provide food and needs for those that, need that help.
And you're headquartered in the city of Berea,
Correct.
Right, Ed? Tell me about your involvement as the board president. What do you have to keep in mind running Church Street Ministries?
Well, we look at them as a mission outreach into the community. We focus on the fact that we're looking into how we're going to grow. We started as a one little room by Franny Millward 28 years ago down in the basement. And now, as Reverend Charles has stated, we've gotten into 2 stores, a food pantry. We have 7 staff, a lot of volunteers, a lot of support groups in the community. And we're looking at how we're going to be able to support those that have a real need.
Yeah. And of course, this is all faith-based. I mean, this is faith-based, but this is going outside the church building itself. That's what the Lord wants us all to do, right?
Yes, exactly.
Speak to that, Reverend. Reverend Charles Brown.
Well, you know, our statement of purpose, we say here from Matthew 25, 35, 36, "For I was hungry and you gave food, I was thirsty and you gave me drink, I was a stranger and you welcomed me, I was naked and you clothed me, I was sick and you visited me, I was in prison and you came to me."
That's all scriptural, right there.
That's what we do.
Right out of the Bible.
We do all of that.
Yeah. Can other people get involved with you? Can the public get involved? I mean, of course, you could always use a couple of bucks in the offering plate, right, Ed?
Yes.
Tell me how people can get involved.
Well, we have a variety of methods. We have service organizations that help us, Berea, Kiwanis, Rotary. We have those that come in and give us cash donations. This allows us to go to the Cleveland Food Bank and we buy food in bulk. We also have a number of entities that provide donations to us, and that is Target stores, Aldi's, Mark's, and Olive Garden.
Yeah.
So,
you get my notes tell me you have a furniture store too.
Yes.
Tell me about how that operates.
It's out at West Bagley at Lewis Road.
In Berea.
In Berea, just as you go into Olmsted Falls. And we have donations from individuals that are downsizing their furniture. They donate to us. We also have those that are doing a family need. Let's say their parents passed away, and they donate to us there also. We also have a thrift store at the 398 West Bagley Road, right adjacent to the food pantry, and that's where we sell clothing, knickknacks, small items of that nature.
Let me put a phone number on the screen as we continue our conversation with these 2 gentlemen, 440-826-4603. Or you can go to churchstreetministries.org, churchstreetministries.org. It's at the bottom of the screen. You might want to take a pencil and write that down. Charles, you and I have known each other. We go back all the way to childhood. We lived around the corner from each other.
Right.
We've known each other since childhood. Yeah. What do you envision for this organization?
We support Cuyahoga County. We support families in Cuyahoga County, and we know that there's a need. And my vision is that with additional donations, with additional volunteers, we can expand our reach. We can expand our mission. We can expand the people that we support. We have just started, well, we didn't just start, but in 2011 we started a veterans program, which is and I know you're a veteran. And so veterans can come in, they can get furniture if they to set up an apartment. And the beauty of that is they can come in and find the stuff that they need.
And what they need to do is get in touch with you by
Yes.
making that phone call, 440-826-4603.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate the both of you being here. Time is running out on us, and I've got to take it to a commercial break here. But I do appreciate you being here for what you're doing. And Charles, always good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
And good to see you again, too. We've run into each other along the way.
Yes, we have.
Thank you, gentlemen, for being
thank
with us
you.
from
Thank
Church
you.
Street Ministries, 440-826-4603. Marshall Mockaby, the Urban League, will join me in just a moment. I'll take this break. The Morning Exchange segment, that means Marshall Mockaby of the Urban League, its president and CEO, joins us, always with something on your mind, and I wonder what it is today.
Well, what it is today, Leon, is this week coming up is a very important time in Ohio. This is going to be our chance to cast our vote and speak in terms of the candidates for the presidency, you know, for the nominations, you know, for each
parties.
party. And we got some local issues, and we've got some local candidates. They're all important. But today, what I really want to talk about, first of all, I just want to urge our listening audience to do this. I'm going to ask everybody in the audience to call at least 3 people and make sure that you encourage some other folks to get out to vote. Because this election is going to be in 2016 as much about the Supreme Court appointments and that body that actually interprets the laws of this land and makes sure that no matter what craziness may be going on wherever else in the government, they have the final say in how the law should be administered. And that's a very important place, and we got to have the right people there.
Early in this century, early in the 20th century, Justice Louis Brandeis of the U.S. Supreme Court said that it is the everyday citizen who holds the ultimate power in this country.
That's
And that
exactly
the
right.
highest political office is to be
Right.
citizen, because you cannot get to any elected office without the citizens say so.
That's
Or know
exactly
what
right.
your politics
That's right. And
are.
our next president will be appointing a number of judges and Supreme Court people. So we got to make sure that they represent our interest.
That's right. So you got to get out and vote. That's what it's
Yes.
all about. That's part of the democracy. It is the foundation of democracy.
Yes.
And when I was a little boy, my dad used to take me into the voting booth, and he would show me how he was voting. He says, "Remember, when you're old enough, vote, son." You too. Take care.
This has been a presentation of News Channel 5's Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.